Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If you're homeschool and you're home or feeling a little upside down right now, maybe you're just coming out of the holidays still, or you've had just some time off of school, you're not alone. I know exactly what that feels like. That mix of I'm ready to get back to normal, but also where do I even start? So today I am sharing my top 5 practical tips for getting your homeschool and your home back on track. These are the things I personally do when we've been out of our routine for a bit, whether it's after Christmas, long break, or even just a really busy season of life. Grab your coffee, let's get comfy, and let's talk about how to get back in the groove without the stress. Tip number 1, pick a realistic start back day. All right, so this is the very first thing, and this one is super important. Pick a realistic start back day. This is the day that you want to be back in the swing of your normal routine. Here's the key. Don't just think about it. Actually write it down. Put it in a planner. Stick it on a Post-it note on the fridge. Set a reminder on your phone. Whatever it takes to hold yourself accountable to that day. But this is the part that we sometimes kind of forget, is making sure it's actually realistic. If you've still got Christmas decor halfway packed up, or all of your kids have dentist appointments that week, or everyone's sleep schedule is still off, you need to take that into account. You don't have to pick tomorrow to start. Sometimes it's actually better to pick a few days or a couple of weeks to get ready rather than rushing back in just to crash halfway through. So for example, this is how it usually works for us. We take off November, December, and January. And that gives about a 2-week buffer at the end of hunting season to get back into the swing of school. So in January, we start easing back into our routines, getting our chore schedule back going, slowly adding in our bits of curriculum. And by our start date, which is usually the first week of February, we're pretty close to normal. Now, that doesn't mean that changes won't still need to be made, because of course they will, but this actually helps us transition well and stick to the schedule that actually works for our family. So the key takeaway here is to pick a day that actually makes sense for you, one that gives you enough space to prepare, but still feels doable. Tip number 2, start with a reset day. Before you even touch a workbook, pull out a lesson plan, anything, give yourself a reset day. Honestly, this is one of my biggest sanity savers. A reset day is just one day or even half day where you get your space and your mindset back in order. You're not doing school yet. You're just getting ready to function again. Here's the thing though, everyone needs to pitch in with this. This is a team effort. In our house, I find it most helpful to do this right before our official start date. That way, everything is prepped, organized, and ready to go, and everyone can just start on a clean plate. So for us, this kind of looks like maybe catching up on any laundry, cleaning out the homeschool room, organizing bookshelf, cleaning off the homeschool table, straightening up the desks, restocking any supplies, planning simple meals for the week, making sure snacks are prepped and ready to go, making sure everything that we need for our lessons for the week are printed and in their correct spots. And if that feels like that's a little bit too much, you could even stretch it over a couple of days. Whatever you need to make sure that your home feels prepared for the new season. When my space feels calm, my brain follows. So using this time to create that calm before learning begins really helps. Tip number 3, ease back in, okay? Just take a little bit of time and ease into it. Now, this is something I mentioned earlier when I talked about our start back day. I want to explain it a little bit more because there is some flexibility. Your ease in period can be whatever works for your family. Of course, for us, that actually happens better before our start date. So we'll spend those couple of weeks in January slowly adding things back in. A little bit of math, maybe now we add in read-in time, maybe now we are putting in spelling. That kind of gives us some time to shake off the rust before we are back in our full schedule in February. But for some families, it might actually work better to ease in the week of your scheduled start date. Maybe you do half days for a week, only focusing on the main subjects before adding everything back in. It doesn't actually matter what you do. What matters is that you do it, because getting back on track takes both an ease in period and a start date. So however you need to coordinate that, the ease in just really helps everybody adjust gently, and that start date gives you the structure and accountability to stick with it. So find whatever rhythm works best for your family, and then give yourself permission to just take it slow if you need to. Tip number 4, revisit your rhythms. Once you've started that easing in, it's a great time to start looking into your rhythms. Notice I didn't say schedule. Schedules, those just feel rigid, but rhythms are flexible. They move with your family. So ask yourself, what worked really well before our break? What felt off or stressful? Is there something that needs to shift in this current season that we are now in? Maybe your mornings need to be a little bit slower. Maybe independent work needs to move to a later time in the day, or maybe you need to build a little bit more margin between subjects. This is also where I remind myself that even if I've thought through all of the things, sometimes they just don't actually work in real life, and that's okay. Adjusting as you go is all part of it. So don't be afraid to tweak things week by week until it fits. One example is our read aloud time actually works significantly better if I do it just right at the end of our lessons. That makes sure that it actually gets done, and we really enjoy that wind down for the day. Being open to small adjustments really helps build a rhythm that truly works and that you're not constantly fighting to maintain. And tip number 5, refresh your motivation. After a break, sometimes we all just need something that makes us want to start again. For your kids, that might be something small and fun, like new pencils or a new notebook, maybe a themed morning basket, or a simple science experiment. For you, maybe it's a new Bible study or devotional, maybe picking up a book that's just for fun, not parenting or homeschooling. Maybe you have a new small craft or a hobby to try, something to encourage you to stay committed to this fresh start and brings a little joy back into your days. Doesn't have to be big or complicated. These are just little things that reminds you that this is a new season and it is worth showing up for. When you bring in that little bit of joy, that little spark, it does change the atmosphere. Your kids feel it, your home feels it, and you find yourself looking forward to those school days again. So if you are sitting there thinking, okay, we are off track and I don't even know where to start, just remember, you don't need to fix everything overnight, okay? Start by setting that realistic day. You'll get back into your groove, prep your home and your heart before that day comes, and just ease back in at your pace, revisiting what's working and what's not, and bringing something new and fresh that lifts everyone's spirits. Getting back on track isn't about perfection. It's just about moving in the right direction. Give yourself and your kids a little bit of grace as you begin to build that momentum again. It might take a couple of weeks, but you will find your rhythm. All right, I would love to hear from y'all down in the comments. What day are y'all starting back, or have you already gone back to school? And do you have any tips for getting in the rhythm and getting back on track? If this was helpful, be sure to share it over with a friend. But that is it for today's video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.